Hello y'all and welcome to the vlog. Today I'm going to be talking about some rather serious shit while doing a makeup tutorial because I need to reshoot the cover art for my new podcast, Anti-Filter, because I was originally doing it with my friend, but some crazy shit transpired when we dropped the first episode, and now I will be doing it by myself. So we're gonna recreate that makeup while we talk about some serious shit. I'm feeling very nervous about it, and I really don't want to film this, but it is my civic duty, so I will be doing that. Also, if you're new here, welcome to Tism Pump YouTube, y'all, where we discuss my experiences with autism, mental health, addiction recovery, and becoming a baby bodybuilder.
I'ma keep winning, winning. I'ma keep winning, winning. I'ma keep winning, winning. You can try to save yourself, but you only gon' play yourself. You can try to save yourself, but you only gon' play yourself. You can try to save yourself, but you only gon' play yourself. You can try to save yourself.
All right, so first things first, when it comes to doing a full face, in my opinion, the best thing that you can do if you're doing a full face is start with skincare prep. And I've noticed that ever since I started prioritizing skincare when I'm doing a full face, it just looks way better. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna pee quickly and then we will begin momentarily. All right, y'all, I drank, what was it? I'm so fucking ADHD. Coffee with protein powder, and now I'm all fucked up from the coffee. I took it. Anyway, we're gonna be talking about some serious shit today. Also, I just did my lashes. I haven't really been doing my lashes for the past week because the TikTok girlies collectively decided that we're no longer doing lash extensions, but I did lash extensions. But there's this thing going around. And we're gonna start with some exfoliating shit. Lip Focus from Paula's Choice. And it's basically talking about, if you were a woman, would you rather be trapped in a forest? Like, if you were a woman alone in a forest, would you rather be trapped alone in a forest as a woman with a man or a bear? I'm very passionate about this talk, like about women's sexual violence, women's sexual safety. And one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it up is because it's something that's being talked a lot about right now, but also it's something that for me was kind of brought to my attention. So if you guys don't know, I need to choose my words very carefully. I'm no longer going to the gym that I was going to, and I love that gym. Like, I have really good memories there. I love it. It's a great gym. But I was pulled into the office by the owner, and him and I had a really constructive conversation. And he was telling me that my content was making some of the people there, some of the men there, really uncomfortable. And I'm not gonna go fully too deep into it, but what I will say is that originally my first thought was, no, I'm not changing my content. I'm not altering my content. And then I realized that as somebody who advocates for the sexual safety of women, to make people, to make men feel uncomfortable in a place where I feel like home, just wasn't sitting right with me. So I took a lot of time to think about it, and I did ask for my membership to be canceled, and then I asked for it back, and I was told that unfortunately that wasn't something that could happen right now. And that's fair. I get it from a business perspective. If it's fucking up the owner, then that's okay. I get it. But it wasn't sitting right with me that my content was making people really uncomfortable, making men feel really uncomfortable, because in my lifetime, men have made me feel so uncomfortable. There were several people apparently that complained about my content. So I reached out to 50 people separately at my gym through Instagram and basically told them all the same thing. I apologized if my content had ever made them feel uncomfortable. That wasn't my goal. Because like, I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. It's just me talking to a camera. So, I don't know. I'm feeling very like discombobulated, dysregulated about it. And I spent like a whole week just like crying, being really upset, feeling really bad. And what I've realized is that I tend to take on so much blame immediately when something is explained to me and I see where I've gone wrong. And I forget everything else that I had like thought about previously and made like into factors in my mind, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to explain this correctly. Anyway, we're gonna put sunscreen on because sunscreen is integral. You always gotta use sunscreen. But I think, I don't know, here's the thing. So like when I shoot content at the gym, a lot of it is clipped from like vlogs, or I'm just like, I shoot and then I have conversations with people. And then like whatever's being said, like that's what will get clipped, right? I'm not somebody that thinks about things like beforehand. Like I just point and shoot and create that content. Like I don't do skits, I don't prepare stuff. I just bring my cam to the gym, set it up, have a microphone, and like I just say unhinged things. I'm very sexual, which is funny because I literally am celibate. I've not had sex in almost 2 fucking years. But I'm still a very, very sexual person. I've always been that way. And I wanted to give you guys some context of where I got that from. I remember like my mom one time, this is like a very specific story. I told her what Blumpkins were, and I was working at a restaurant as a server, and she came there with her friends, and she was in the middle of the restaurant talking about Blumpkins. So I had kind of like almost like a crisis of conscience. Like, am I a bad person? Am I making people feel uncomfortable like on purpose? And I was like really thinking about it and trying to like figure it out because I didn't want to make people feel uncomfortable. Like that wasn't the goal. And I get that the gym is a place for training, and that's something that like I need to take into consideration in the future. We're also going to be putting foundation on today, a shocker. I don't really use foundation much anymore, but we're gonna do it today. We're gonna use Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Shade 185, give it a little shake. And I forget what the fuck I was talking about, but we're just gonna take this with our fingers and like pretty much like spread it all over our face. You're gonna think what I'm doing is fucking wild when it comes to under eyes because I don't use concealers, and what I've been doing recently is I'll do like a full face and then I'll wipe away underneath my eye. Because I'm going to the gym after this, and like, I don't know, I've just never been able to have concealer that will like not crease. But anyway, my thing here is, it's hard, right? Because it made me be very introspective about my content, like what I'm putting out there. And I think one thing that stuck out for me is the gym owner, love him. Like love the fuck out of him, love him. But he said like, you know, he was saying that like a lot of people online like have personas and like it doesn't mesh with who they are in real life. And I was like, babe, like I just kind of thought it was very interesting because I was like, you know, thinking to myself, like, you know me, I'm exactly like in real life who I am online. And I think that it's confusing because there are some people at my gym who are really successful content creators, but they do mostly like skit work where it's stuff that's like written out and then like written down and then like acted out. So I thought that was interesting, but there was like this divide happening in my brain, and I was like, okay, like, am I a bad person? Am I making people feel uncomfortable unintentionally? Like, how do I go about this? How do I evolve with my content? Like, how do I do it so that I don't make people feel uncomfortable? And then I realized that I'm always gonna make people feel uncomfortable. We're also gonna use the Fenty Matchstick in shade Mocha. I've been using this for fucking years since like it first came out, and it's my favorite thing. So basically, like, I came to the conclusion that I'm still gonna make content in the gym, but I shouldn't be making people feel uncomfortable. But I also was struggling with that concept because it's just me like talking to a camera, right? I'm not like hurting anybody. I'm not walking up to people and like grabbing them or like doing bad shit. Like I'm just talking. And the problem is I'm really, really unfiltered. And I think that, and this is not in reference to people who went to my gym. This is just in reference to, I don't know, something that I thought of recently. And I think what it is that a lot of men, and I might get in trouble for this, get frustrated when a woman is hypersexual when it doesn't serve them. Does that make sense? Like, everybody loves a sexual woman when they're sucking their dick, but no one likes a sexual woman when she's just sexual on her own, right? And I've been celibate for almost 2 years. I joke and say that I'm an incel, but I just haven't found anyone that I really wanted to like actually have sex with, so that's why. It's not like for religious purposes or whatever. Also, can we just talk about the fact that I have like these stains on my shirt? We love to see it. Anyway, so I don't know. Like the thing is like I'm talking to the camera, I'm not harming anybody, but I think that I could have gone about it a little bit better, and it's good to know. Like I think that there's always room for introspection and room for improvement, and it was a really constructive conversation that I had with the gym owner, and I'm glad that we had it. It was a lot of fallout. It was really hard because to me, like, that gym was my home. And the day when I was told that I couldn't go there anymore for now, which was very fair, like I agree with that. I think that if it starts to affect the business, then like the business owner 100% has the right. I took responsibility. I was like, I'm so sorry for the stress that this has caused, because that wasn't my intention. My intention was to just make content that some people found relatable, some people found funny, you know, that forced some people to be introspective, that like helped people feel less alone, and through that made people feel uncomfortable, and that wasn't the goal. And I remember the day that this happened, like I was so fucking upset, and I drove I was driving to get Botox, and I was driving and I was thinking, oh my God, I'm so upset. Like I love this gym. I love the people there. Like that place is my home. And then I tried to, like, I sat there and I tried to identify like what it was that was so great about this gym. And I was like, it's the connections, it's the people. The people are what made it so special for me. And then I realized that the magic was not within the connections and the people necessarily. The magic was within me, because all of these little connections that I made at that gym that were really special and really important to me were mainly because of me, because I have the tendency to do this weird shit where I fucking walk up to people and I compliment them, or I tell them they look pretty, or whatever the fuck, and like, or like, oh my God, you're so strong, like your form is great, your physique is incredible, you know, like it's little things like that. And I don't just do that to people at my gym. Also, we're putting on Too Faced highlighter. This shit's mangled, I can't show it to you or it's gonna fall off. We also just used a bunch of blush. Like I'm just talking right now, bitch. But I realized that the magic was in me, because this happens to every single gym that I go to. This happens whenever I go to places, because I stop strangers and tell them, like, and I compliment them. So that's the thing. And although there were so many phenomenal things about this gym, like I love that gym till the fucking day I die. It's the best gym. It's the best gym that I've ever been to personally. But I needed to realize that like there are consequences to my actions, and this was a consequence that I had to deal with, and like it is what it is. Like there's not anything that I could do about it. What was done was done, the damage was done, and I accepted responsibility for the role that I played. And it's just hard, but that's okay. Life is fucking hard. We're getting close to the end here, and I know you're like, what the fuck? Like we just started, bitch, but we are. One thing that like I did want to kind of touch on And we're gonna do our brows. Honestly, whenever I do my brows, I don't do much to them. I just use fucking Gotta Be and like a little spoolie and I just brush them out. Like, my makeup now is so minimal by comparison to what it was like 2 years ago. When I did like a full face, it was fucking insane. And that's okay. Sometimes we evolve and shift and change. I completely forgot what the fuck I was talking about. I have no idea. Not a clue. Nothing going on up here. Fuck. Well, here's the thing. We're gonna brush that out. I need to look there. I need to look. I know you're like, why are you looking there? It's because there's a screen there. I need to see what the fuck I'm doing, bitch. Anyway, I did something today that's caused a lot of stress. But the thing is I just kind of post whatever's happening that day or feelings that I'm having. And I did something that I know is gonna lose I'm gonna lose, you know, a substantial amount of followers from it. But fuck it, we ball, you know? There was lots of talk about what would you do if you were alone in a forest with a man or a bear? Like, would you prefer to be alone in a forest with a man or a bear? And women, almost every single woman, I actually asked it on my Instagram story. I was like, hey, curious, which would you prefer? And all the women were like, bear, obviously, like, you know why. And I had a few people that answered that were like, a bear, because at least if I had a bear attack, then people would believe me. And today, I did what I did a couple years ago. Well, I clipped out something on the first episode of the Anti-Filter podcast, which is not available on YouTube. I took it down, but it'll be on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But there's a clip in it where I talk about my essayer. And basically, in the clip, I talk about how I told his mom that he raped me. And she sent me a thumbs up emoji. Anyway, so I clipped that and I put it on Instagram as God intended. And then I did tag him, the rapist, as God intended. So I'm kind of nervous about that. That should kind of tell you everything about what it's like to be a woman. Scared to report, scared to say what happened. And I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of people telling me, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't ruin his life, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing, maybe he shouldn't have raped me. You know, if he didn't, then none of this would happen. It's funny though, because I did actually like years ago call him out on Instagram when he did that. And I posted screenshots of him admitting that he did that to me. See, the thing is like a lot of times like I'll post things that I know that I shouldn't post when it comes to like talking about women's sexual violence, at least. And because my audience primarily on Instagram is male, I know that I'm gonna get a lot of shit for it. But the thing is like, I also don't care. Like, it's my story, it's my life, and I think that it's okay for me to talk about, but there are repercussions to actions. So anyway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some rhinestones. And we're also gonna take some MAC hearts, and we're gonna put the hearts up there, we're gonna put some rhinestones on the bottom, we're gonna put some lipstick on, and then we're gonna call it a motherfucking day, bitch. Cause I have to shoot this cover, and by shoot, I mean I'm literally gonna stand in front of my closet like I did before and have a piece of duct tape over my mouth to create the cover art for this podcast. You know what I'm gonna do though? I'm actually gonna do on the top the hearts and the diamonds because I don't want anything on the bottom because, as I said, I'm gonna wipe this off. And I know that's psychotic, but it's okay. Okay, I need to do this here. I'm gonna show you here. Can you see me? Yes. Okay, we're gonna do one dot right above the eye. Same shit on the other side. Okay. Then we're gonna take a little heart. We're gonna take a little heart. Fuck me, I can't fucking do this. I'm all stressed out. I'm like shaking like a bitch. I hate when that happens. Like sometimes if you put like glue here, it sticks and then the sticker won't come off, or the little heart. Okay, so we have that. You see? We're gonna do it there, and put diamonds in between. Okay? I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna come back to you, baby girl. What I have learned is it's very interesting as a woman to talk about your personal sexual violence because it really upsets people. I think life is honestly like a mirror, and it sometimes people see parts of themselves in my content that upsets them because it resonates with them in a way that they wish it didn't. It's also not my problem, because the thing is that if you rape someone, you shouldn't have raped them. It's gonna be so weird going to my gym with like this on my fucking face, but fuck it, we ball, you know? Anyway, we're gonna just do that, like 3 little hearts, and then we'll put some fucking diamonds also. It's so funny because when I was signing up at the new gym, the first thing that happened is I went in, I had an appointment, I sat down with the guy, he was like, "You create content, right?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "I think you do." And I was like, "I don't think so." "Don't think so, bestie." That was not cute for me. I don't know, I just didn't wanna, I didn't want the fucking drama, but apparently I am drama. I also just need to realize that like, if I just shut the fuck up for a second for like once in my life, I would have less drama. My issue, aside from having a fat fucking ass, is that thinking that if I don't tell people like the truth, like if I tell half truths or lies, then I'm lying, and it makes me feel weird. So like if people ask me, it's like an autism thing. If someone's like, "Oh, how are you?" and I'm not feeling good, like I can't just be like, "Oh, I feel great," or "Oh, I feel good," or like I have to be like, "Here's why," and it's so fucking nasty. I say this all the time, I would love to be mysterious, but I literally just can't shut the fuck up. Love that for me. All right, well, I'm gonna go to the gym like this, and I'm gonna look like a fucking crazy bitch, as God intended. I'm really hot, I'm really anxious right now. Part of me wishes that I didn't do that. Maybe I should take it down. The thing is I stand on things that I say, and if I think that things are, like if I'm wrong, then I'll like say that I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong for this one. Like this is just like, it's factual and it's what happened to me. Wow, I got it. Okay. I knew, you know, part of this job, part of doing this is realizing that you're gonna get hate comments, and that's okay, but an interesting comment from a woman on, this is the video.
I got off the majority of my medication, and my way of coping was calling him out on Instagram and posting screenshots where he did tell me that he did me, and then I sent the screenshot to his mom. Would you like to know what her response was? She sent me a thumbs up emoji. It's giving, she's not a girl's girl. She's not a girl's girl.
You know what? Sometimes women are weird. Men are weird, and sometimes women are weird, and we're all weird. And the thing is like, you know, I'm gonna get comments from people being like, "Men are raped too," never said that they weren't. Literally, I've talked to so many male friends of mine that have had SA experiences. But this whole movement, and like when we're talking about a bear in a forest versus like a man, is about sexual violence against women. So that's what we're talking about here. Like, it's hard. It's hard for men, it's hard for women, it's hard for everybody that goes through this shit. Like, it's just, it's one of the fucking, oh my God, I just realized. See this? Whole video, poppy seeds in my teeth. That's fine. Love that. If any of you guys like saw earlier and you're like, the fuck is in your teeth? Poppy seeds, girl. Anyway, it's hard being raped. Just as really challenging thing to go through. Doesn't matter what gender you are. It's horrific, and no one should have to go through it. What is pretty interesting though, when you talk to men about this sort of thing, is a lot of them like just aren't aware of how often this happens to women, which is fucked. We're gonna use a brow liner on our lips. I don't even know really what to say at this point. I don't know how to do this on camera. One sec. I'm fucking this up. I'm all nervous and fucked up. I just feel really not good. It's hard because a few weeks ago I was confronted with I guess, like how my own rape trauma has affected me. I'm not really gonna go too much in depth into this because it's causing me a lot of anxiety. It's funny because like, if you're like friends with me, like, you know, I'll like joke a lot about SA because that's just like my way of coping with it and moving through it. And I think in my mind, like how I saw it is like, because I had the ability to joke about it, it wasn't like really affecting me. Like it didn't really like affect my life. And boy, was I wrong, bitch. Boy, was I fucking wrong. It does, and that's the thing, is that that's a big part of the argument where women are making about the bear forest guy thing. Is like, at least if you're being killed by a bear in a forest, like it's over, it's done, you know what to expect, the bear's hungry, right? But if it's a man, see, here's the thing, I think that rape is so much worse than murder because you have to live with it. It's really hard to live and survive after you've been raped. This was a really heavy video and I'm sorry. I feel like I'm having like a fucking anxiety attack right now. I'm really hot and I feel like I can't breathe because I'm really stressed out about this. It's just hard to talk about, but I think that it's really important to talk about also at the same time, because not a lot of people, not enough people, especially creators, talk about this shit. And like, it's important because it's something that really links us together as women. It's kind of a universal experience, at least here in North America. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the end of the video. Sorry if you were watching this and you're like, what the fuck? What a weird ending. We did do our makeup. This is it. I just feel like I'm having a panic attack. It's sometimes really difficult to talk about this stuff. But I wanted to like, not normalize it, but like make people feel less alone, because it's something that a lot of people go through, men and women, and like, it's really hard to get through and to move past. With that being said, I'm gonna end this video because I feel like I can't fucking breathe right now. And I need to figure out how to calm down. I think I'm gonna go sit with like some ice on my vagus nerve or something. But that's it. I hope you guys have had a great day. I'm sorry this video was a little fucked up and YouTube done. Slay. Sorry again. Fucking like, share, comment, subscribe, I guess. I don't fucking know.